This episode is brought to you by Brewy, a coffee that nourishes your mind and body. Brewy is an organic coffee blend loaded with 6 adaptogenic mushrooms, so you can enjoy the benefits of superfoods while being fueled in your day-to-day life. To receive your Brewy discount code, tag a friend in this episode's coming soon post. Welcome back, everybody, to the UR Pod usage rate. I'm here with my good friend Baz. Moved up in the rankings, fresh off Friday night at the Nest, mate. How was it?
Yeah, really good. Good atmosphere. Had some pretty good seats. Was able to yell out "Hungry Jacks" a few times, and I reckon Jalen Adams heard me a couple of times. So I was trying to be like, yeah, no, he didn't give me a look. I was trying to get eye contact. I had the big Will Magnay head standing next to me, and yeah, it's pretty happy with that. And yelling out "Hungry Jacks," and he missed a couple, so I took a bit of credit for it. So. They got the burgers early though.
They got what? The burgers early? Did you cash in?
Yeah, we got the. No, I didn't. Yeah, unfortunately.
My other question about that was it as good as the time I made Zaza Pachulia miss a free throw in at Golden State's home game?
Nah, because I lost my voice after the first quarter, so she was tough going the rest of the way. But no, it was good, and I'm back on Thursday. Can't wait
for the game against Illawarra.
Yeah, nice. Illawarra. Similar seats as well.
Geez, you'll splash the cash, mate.
Yeah, they're good value though, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, let's get into it. So this episode brought to you by Jibber's Hot Sauce. Go and have a look at Jibber on Instagram. He's just left the chefing job, so he's going to be full-time dedicated to Jibbers. So if you're wanting to buy some of Australia's finest hot sauce, UR18 is the code. Go and check him out. We'll get into all things Supercoach, mate. So we're obviously missing Dairy. He's on the gun at the moment, and I'm in Byron Bay, so we've done our best to put this together. So what'd you score for the round?
Scored 312. Not too bad with Valentine as my captain. So wasn't too bad, and obviously with Tyler Cook as well. So I think a really good score each week will be hovering around that 400 mark. So I was a fair bit off the pace this week, but moved up in the rankings to 806 overall, and my round ranking was 2000. So a few good trades coming this week, and I reckon I'm going to be moving up again.
Yeah, well, that's what you want to be doing, mate, moving up each week. So, you scored a little bit more than me. I had an absolute mare, which we'll get into later. I only scored 304 this week, which dropped me down to an overall rank of 318. So I dropped a couple hundred spots, which hurt a bit. But Dairy had an awesome score. Well, you versed him in our head-to-head league. And how much did he beat you by?
70.
He beat you by 70. Wow.
Yeah.
That's so he scored 368, and he's moved up to 182 overall. So he's real happy with his work, the big fella.
He's rewarded himself with a few sneaky OJ vodkas, I reckon, on his way.
Well, he sent through a thing in our basketball Snapchat group that he outlasted everyone at the bar last night. He was the last one there, and he will be making every dollar count on that train, I reckon. Righto, we'll move on. Yeah, your hustling hero for the week. Who was it and why?
My hustling hero. I got so lucky bringing in this bloke in round one, just purely based off the schedule, and it's coming through.
So you started with this person?
Started with this person, had him in that first round, and obviously had him last week as well, and going to stick with him this week, even though he's only got one game, and that's Will Cummings again. Yep. I cannot believe he's obviously the top point scorer overall. He has played 4 games, which obviously boosts that a little bit, but got a break even of 10. So
he's going to go up again.
So he's going to get that he's going to go up again. He's only 4% ownership, so you'd say he's a bit of a unique sort of pick at the moment.
Yeah, definitely.
And for someone at 310 with that break even, you look at the other guys that are around like 277 or 300 mark. A lot of them have higher break evens. So, in his last game, he's in his last game that he played, and the game before that, he sat off for a quarter with his busted nose. And yeah, I'm real happy with him. He's my hustling hero, and also I don't know if we can have a new category called "Saving My Season," but he's absolutely he's carrying my team hard.
He saved your season in round 2.
Pretty much. I was looking nervous after looking at Dairy's team. I'm like, oh mate, I'm in all sorts. So yeah, he's my hustling
maybe we
hero.
can have a Save My Season award come the end of the year. I like that. He saved my team for the week. He was a SMW. Like his break even of 10, as you said, he's projected to go up $20,700 this week. And he's obviously got that small ownership. He's got the 5th highest average overall, which is pretty bloody impressive. So real happy with his work. I had Jalen Galloway. He absolutely saved me. In my head-to-head game, my opponent didn't have him. He knocked 58 out. He's got a break even of 6, projected to go up 36,000. So this week they've only got this week they've got the double as well. So at Brisbane and then Perth at home. So we'll see how he goes there. But I'll be hanging on to him for a little while. I think they on the tiers of toughness. Brisbane are ranked a light green and Perth are a dark green. So 2 relatively easy games for him as a forward for Sydney this week.
Yeah, I saw he had 5 steals. That was massive, which really kicked his score up a heap. But he has been playing well.
Did you see what their coach said about him?
Nah, I didn't listen.
He said he's the best defender in the NBL.
Well, he's tracking them. If he gets another 5 steals, he's more than happily be putting up that case.
Yeah, definitely. Now, breaking news: Adam Ford waited outside the locker room of Brisbane for Aaron Baines. So that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds. I'm sure we'll hear that in the next couple of days. Could alter some trades. So I might lead with the Brick Boy.
Does this follow on from
this?
Adam
follows
Ford?
on. I am that dirty, Baz. I am so bloody dirty on this. So it's a flow-on effect. But I had Taron Armstrong in my team, my 1 Cairns player. Obviously, he didn't play round 1, and I thought, I'll get another one of their young guys who'll go up in price a bit. Went Bobby Clintman, watched their games their game in round 1. Wasn't like, thought he was all right. Didn't think he was that special. Projection, he was only projected to go up like 8,000. I thought, that's all right. I'm gonna go for some points and some increased money. So I used 3 trades last week, and one of them, because I made some money obviously from Cotton. And then the other one was just a single for a double. The other one was Clintman to Baines. So Clintman went up an absolute truckload. Bainesy dropped in cash. So I lost out on like 62 grand, I think it was, just from like price wise. And then Clintman outscored him as well by about 30 or so. So I've missed out on like 70 grand and 30 odd points. And then I didn't follow my own captain's advice. I went Valentine over Cummings, and Cummings was number 2 on the captain's list. So there's another 40 points. I would be coming first overall in the whole thing. Oh, mate, I'm spewing. Bainesy can lick the bag.
Were you as angry at that result trading out Bobby Clintman for Baines as Baines was angry copping the elbow in the face? Because he was fuming. He was one angry man.
Yeah, yep. He's lucky I wasn't in front of him. Nah, I I would have shit my pants and run as fast as I could. Far
You
out
went sitting
though.
up in the bleachers.
Mate, I'm sitting
Probably,
81 points behind first place, and that's just killed me. I'm so angry about it.
yeah,
It looked like a good
well,
trade.
probably,
They were supposed to, Baines was supposed to go up or projected to go up based on what you would think he would score anyway. That wasn't a naughty prediction. He should have gone up 12,000 more than Clintman, but Clintman obviously played out of his skin. On paper, it was
he
a
was
good
nice.
move. It was a real good move on paper with Brisbane's upcoming schedule. Now I might have to deal with the Baines suspension just to rub salt in the wound. Who's your brick boy, mate?
That story for days.
Who's your brick boy? I reckon I've told you every day for the last 3 days.
You have, and every time it gives me a bit of a chuckle, actually. I think it's funny. My brick boy, obviously they've got to come from our team, which there are a few players like I'm happy with, not happy with, but I'm not too happy at the moment with Ben Air, so I'm trading him out this week. And it's mainly based around that I thought he'd probably be one of those players that may go up take that big jump of 30, 40K, but it just didn't happen. He's had a score of 19 and 17, which was really good. Came to the break-even game, and he wasn't going to reach his break-even of -1 until 2 minutes to go in the fourth, and he decided to pull about 3 or 4 threes. Finished on the score of 7, and he's gone up to 125K. So I've made pretty much donuts off him.
You've made 18K from him.
Yeah, and then to add salt into the wound on that one, not as bad as your scenario, but I think that Gary Brown coming back, moved him to the bench. They've obviously dropped a fair few games early on, so I think they're going to play Gary Brown with Cummings, with Creek, pretty heavy minutes, and Ben Air may not even reach his break even of 13 this week from one game. So he's my brick boy.
Yeah,
I think he might have even bricked a few of those threes too.
Yeah, he did. Yep. And I know early on we knew we weren't going to keep him for too long because we knew Gary Brown was coming back. But realistically, I would have liked to have held him through to the end of round 4 because they obviously went double, single, double. I would have loved to get him through to that round 5 when those Cairns guys were coming back and then drop him to Armstrong. But the weekend really hurt him, didn't it?
Yeah, so he's in 16% of teams, so I'll be intrigued to see what that number changes to this week.
Yeah, especially, and we'll talk about this a little bit later on. People obviously playing trades week to week, but very important to look that extra week ahead as well, which is going to be really tough in round 4 because there's only the 3 teams that have got the double, being Adelaide, Melbourne, and Southeast Melbourne. So maybe it'll be interesting to see whether people are holding Cook, who's really highly owned, and then we both really love what Will Cummings has done so far. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope he can continue it because I don't know if people will be able to justify getting him in or whether they are looking pretty good this week and might bring him in for the week after, but which could hurt their score this week. Be really interesting to see what people do. Scouting report. Who do you want to have a bit closer of a look at this week? So, last week, do you remember who you had?
Yeah, I do remember who I had.
You wanted to take a look at him, and I jumped on him.
Yeah, I know. Well, I thought he could pump down a few double doubles and that sort of stuff. So that's why I was keeping an eye on him. But obviously, maybe we kept too close an eye on him, and he cracked.
He doesn't cope under pressure. So you had BAYNESY last week.
Yeah, who'd you have? I can't remember.
I had Sam Menenga, who wasn't too bad in the first game, but then he chucked up a -1 the other day and yesterday, and the guys from injury are coming back pretty quickly for Cairns. So he'll AK Gack was unreal yesterday.
Well, I wasn't expecting McCall to be back so quick. I thought that kind of come out of nowhere. I just saw his name pop up on the bench, and I hadn't really seen any reports to kind of indicate that was the case. But
neither. It just came from nowhere, didn't it? And then obviously Josh Roberts came back as well from injury. So I reckon Menenga's probably going to be a pass from me. But anyway, who are you going to keep an eye on this week?
I'm just going to keep an eye on Jacob Wiley from Adelaide. So I've watched. He only went up 600, which is virtually nothing. So he's still priced fairly decently for that import. He's only in a handful of teams, so 8% of teams have him. And you mentioned that they're one of those teams that play the double game.
Yep.
He's probably been a little bit consistent. Scores of 33, 23, 25, and he had a score of 18 but had 7 turnovers. And he probably looks the most likely to just be a bit of a consistent trade.
Yeah.
It could be a sideways trade if you wanted for Tyler Cook. If Tyler Cook doesn't play this week, you don't lose any money out by getting Wiley. So he's on my little scouting report. But Adelaide's schedule is not very favourable from rounds 5 to 8. They only play one game for 4 weeks in a row. So he's not long term, but he's just someone just keep an eye on.
So you could potentially bring him in for that double in week 4 and then flick him out.
Yeah, and then flick him out, and then I think he looks passionate. He looks like he's probably 1 or 2 games away from exploding, I reckon.
He's the only one that's playing there with any heart, isn't he? Feel bad for him.
Yeah.
On that as well. In that round 4 where they've got the double, they've got Southeast who are light green, and then Perth who are dark green for centres, and the same for forwards. So he looks like a really good option for that round 4. It just depends on where people's teams are sitting. But if you can get him as a 1 weeker, that will probably be a round that I anticipate a lot of people using a trade boost, just to make sure that they probably won't have planned for that round. So obviously that planning starts now. You don't want to get to next week and then be copping a donut somewhere, because you can lose points pretty quickly. I mean, I'm 318th, and I'm only 81 points behind from a couple of bad decisions. So, I've got Mitch Creek. Similar reason to you. In terms of that double in week 4, I'm really looking at. So in that week, they've got Adelaide at home and then Brisbane. So, yellow and light green. But he's been dropping in price. I think after this week, what have they got? They've just got the single this week against Tassie, which is a yellow as well. So I don't see him going down a hell of a lot more after this week. He's projected to drop 14,000 for this week with a break even of 43, which he could quite easily get to. Really, they need a win. Not that I think they'll probably get it against the Jackies, but I think he'll get close enough to that 43. I think he'll probably score in the 30s this week. He's got an average of 27.3, so I think he'll be having a red-hot Mitch crack at it, and then that'll stem his price plummeting. So if he does, let's say, drops $5,000, you're looking at 375. So if you can find that money from somewhere for round 4 to get another player in that double, because like I said, I think a lot of people will be struggling for points and scratching for numbers there. So he's primed, ready to roll for that round, I reckon.
Yeah.
I just want to keep a bit of an eye as well on the Tyler Cook situation and keeping an ear out for Alan Williams news. Because Williams was early November, or listed as November, but a lot of those injuries seem to be overestimated. So could he be back in 2 weeks' time? So you'd be looking at 21st of October-ish sort of range.
Well, there's still not really any news about what is happening with Cook post the Southeast. I'm kind of surprised there's no real rumours about where he's going. Why is there no rumours that Adelaide might chase him, or he's going to go to this team in Europe, or
they were talking,
like that?
they were talking about it on the commentary for their game, which game against Illawarra, and they were saying that potentially could he go to Adelaide once his stint's done at Southeast? He's waiting on big money offers from Europe, but as we know, they don't always come. So could he stay in Australia? He's here already, but I mean, is a flight somewhere really that big of an issue for someone if he's going to have to move club anyway? He's going to have to resettle and meet new teammates and all the rest of it anyway. Yes, he knows the league, but I don't think you can. I mean, their records 1-3 and 0-4, but I don't think you can compare the two teams. Southeast they're going to win it all, and Adelaide are going to win 2 games. So, does Tyler Cook move the needle for Adelaide that much? Their guard department still sucks. They need 5 imports. I can't see him wanting to go to Adelaide. Really?
It's a nice place.
It is a nice place, but their basketball team sucks.
They'll get some compensation picks next year.
Yeah, they probably should do. So let's have a look at the trades that we're looking at early.
Yeah, early days. Mine's interesting. I'm going for a cash grab.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going and like jumbling my team around, moving some players into different spots. But I'm going out Cook, and in Justin Galloway. So we've already mentioned it. Break even of 6.
Jalen Galloway.
He's going Jalen Galloway. Yep. So he's going up. 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going Ben Air to McDaniel, and then he's projected to go up by 30K. So those 2 trades saved me a bit of coin because Cook's 277 and going down to Galloway saves a fair bit of money, and hopefully I'll make 70K from there. I mentioned it in my big call last week.
Mm-hmm.
I think making cash is going to be hard to do later on. So I'm looking at 2 guys that we know are going to 100% go up. That's mine's a cash grab this week with the hope that it pays off a little bit later.
Yep. Don't mind that strategy, mate. We talked about it a fair bit at length last night till about 11 o'clock or something stupid, and then we're at it again about 7 this morning. In between that, this place that we're staying, the fire alarm went off at 1:30 this morning. Absolutely spewing. My head was that rough, so I sat up for about an hour from 1:30 till 2:30 crunching numbers as well. So I should be in for a massive week with all this time crunching numbers. Well, my big call last week was around McDaniel not being great, and I thought that prediction was looking pretty good after the first game. He played the 29 minutes and had 16 points, and I thought, yep, I'm on the money here. That's round about what I expect. And then bloody BAYNESY, it's another reason why I was annoyed at him. He obviously went out, and they don't have a lot in the big in the big stocks department. We've also got a message through from Dairy. Ben Air has been cut from the Singer Stackers. Let's just see what else he's got for us. So then he came out and went ham in the second half of that game.
He also started.
Yeah. So his defense was unreal late in that game. He's traded Mitch Norton in. Air for Mitch Norton, which I don't mind. That's a pretty good trade. So he scored 30 points in the second game, Sam McDaniel. So how much did you say he went up last week? Did you mention that?
I think he's now around, I think it might have gone up 20, 30K already.
Yeah. So I thought that he was going to go up less than 20. He went up 45.7 thousand. He's projected to go up another 30 this week. So yeah, that's good by you. You'll get some serious click coin. So Dairy's gone Ben Air to Mitch Norton. I don't know what else he did. So I'll give you mine. So I've obviously got rid of Baines. What a shit show that's been. So I've wasted 2 trades on him now because I brought him in and then I'll get him out. Whereas one trade, because if I kept Clintman there, I would have traded him out this week anyway. But I would have had a heap more money sitting there. So I've gone Baines to Albrecht because I really like Albrecht through the blitz and I was really high on him early. He'll go up this week. So he's been pretty reliable. Their matchups, are pretty good. So for Illawarra this week, they got a double and then
The
a
Jackies.
single and a double. Yeah, so they've got at Tassie, at Adelaide, which are forwards yellow, and then for centres, because he's obviously listed as both, is light green, dark green. So somewhere in between those. So that obviously gets me a fair bit of coin. He's projected to go up 16,500 or so. So I think I'm not probably going to lose out too much there because Bainesy's killed me. And then the other one that I've gone, because I've got a fair bit of money to play with from that trade, Ben Air to my man G-Rob.
Oh, you were happy with this one too.
Yeah, love him. Oh, mate, I told you he was going to change his team. They're going to make the 6 this year, and it's all because of him. He was that good, and they play fast. So the Jackies, I think, are like they obviously play against them. The Jackies are a team that sort of they because of the way their roster's constructed, they're not like a team that they were the last couple of years where they're really going to grind every game out. Yep, they still want to pride themselves on defense, but the pace has picked up. Illawarra plays super, super fast. So Illawarra, they're actually the easiest team to score against, but they score the third most amount of points. So I think he's going to score pretty well this week. And Adelaide, who they play, are the second easiest team to score against. So, and their guards suck. So he might score. I'll trade him
Captaincy.
in and give him the captaincy, I reckon, and he'll get me 150 points. He's actually not sitting number 1 on my captain chart though, but I'm not going to release that until Wednesday or Thursday. So you've gone Cook and Air out, Galloway, McDaniel in. How's that leave you looking for the following week? Have you looked at that?
Yeah, not too bad because I do have Travis and Hook Porty.
Yeah,
so the 2 Melbourne guys.
Yeah.
So I will be a little bit light on.
Yeah.
But I do have a little bit of a plan. I'll keep Cummings. So I'll have at least 3 players playing doubles.
Yeah.
And then I'll obviously work around a trade to get in a few New Zealand players before they go up in price as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is shit timing because I've only got a single.
Yeah, it is. But I'll wear it. So then hopefully get the reward for the next 5 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Big call, Barry.
Silent Cheatham won't last the year.
Yeah, you're off him, aren't you? We liked him in the Blitz.
We liked him in the Blitz, but I think that I watched him play and he's actually... The things I saw him doing the Blitz was shooting threes. He was open. He was picking and popping. And he was looking pretty dangerous. But when I watched the game, they played the other day, he just looked so... didn't look there. He looked a bit out of place. Modi Meor was obviously pretty intense coach, and it kind of looked like he was a bit nervous with how he was speaking to him and that sort of stuff. So Derek Pardon was obviously one of the best defensive players we've seen in the league in a long time. And Cheatham doesn't bring that defensive presence that Pardon does. So they've lost that defensive identity. So that's why I don't think he'll last the season. I reckon they'll bring in someone who is a defensive orientated. But they've already bought in a new import today, which came from virtually nowhere. We didn't see that coming. So maybe he might last the season because you obviously don't want 2 new players in once the season started. So, but that's my call. I don't think he'll last the season.
No. Oh, yeah. I thought it was very interesting when you said that through that he actually looked scared. He played 31 and a half minutes, scored 17, had 6 rebounds, and turned it over 3 times. So, his stats don't look that bad, but obviously I haven't done the eye test that you've done.
Mine was just based off that.
Yeah, it could be a good move for him, really. We spoke about him and Delaney juggling minutes, so it could maybe help there. I've got Jack McVeigh sitting in the top 6 scorers this week. That's my big call.
The smiling assassin.
Yeah, I like that he's added the smile to the free throw attempt. You notice that?
You should get a Supercoach point for that. Yeah, I have, and I like it.
Yeah.
Game's on the line.
This week, he's got dark green, and yeah, I like they're going to play pretty fast paced as well. So yeah, I like him. I thought maybe in the past he was a guy that really could only get you points by scoring points. I'm just distracted by Dairy's message. You blokes just focus on playing catch up. I might score 500 this week. Give you the round prize. Love it. But no, Jack McVeigh will be a top 6 scorer this week. He's only projected to go up $600 with a projected score of 53. But I think that's unders. He'll score in the 60s this week, which
is great. It's a great score.
Which is a good score. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. He's sitting 11th, 12th on the projected scores, but I see him outscoring a few of those guys. Delhi and Travers, who outscore. Pinder, he'll outscore Scott. He'll outscore those 4. Right, top 8. I'll give him top 8 scorer, not top 6.
Oh, no, lock in the top 6, mate. Lock in the top 6. You couldn't be further away from last week's.
That was really big call last week with Daniel. That was looking good at half time of the game. So, right, we've only got a few minutes left. So let's razz through our tips for the week. I haven't actually looked at my tipping result from last week. Been too busy living it up over here in New South Wales. But we've got Tassie Illawarra.
Tassie for me.
Yep. Brisbane, Sydney.
Sydney.
Yep. Same. Perth, Melbourne.
Where's it played at? Perth. I'll go with Perth. Night.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Perth as well. I think Melbourne been a little bit shaky while they're trying to sort out the rotation with Clark, and Delhi. Yeah. Adelaide, Illawarra.
Hawks.
Yep, same. Southeast, Tassie.
Tassie.
We're gonna be on top after this round. Melbourne, Brisbane.
Yeah, Melbourne.
I'm going to go Brisbane because Brisbane play Friday night in Brisbane and Melbourne play after them in Perth, and that's teams traditionally don't. Trip. Yeah, teams traditionally don't do really well off the back of that. Who had that trip? Yeah, last week. Adelaide had Brisbane that trip. Which you can't read too much into that, do you? Someone had it the week before too, I think. Just have a quick look. Tassie, no, he only played the one game in the first week. Yep, so I'm going Brisbane over Melbourne. So Melbourne are going to go 0-2 next week. And then Sydney, Perth to finish.
Yeah, I'm going Perth. I reckon they'll knock off Sydney.
I'm going Sydney for that one for the same reason as well. I've picked Brisbane. 2 travelling teams. We hate them. So, anything else before we go, mate? We've got a minute and a half.
I'm a massive fan of Jordan Crawford. I reckon he's bought into the Jackies culture.
Yep. I better give you quick questions, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Real quick. Do you hold Cooks for the double next week or move on? That's from Nathan.
Well, I think we've spoke about that this episode.
Yeah. Who would you bring in for him?
Well, you've got your choice. You're either going up to Frowley or you're going down to Geordie Hunter. I think that's 2 choices.
Yep. You've gone to Galloway. Could you just go him straight to McDaniel for cash?
Yeah. Well, you could copy my trade if you want as well.
Yep. So that one's from Andrew. Kurt says, "What did you think about Aaron Baines' freak out? Wouldn't want to be on the other end." Well, Kurt, Aaron Baines wouldn't want to be on the other end of me not getting the Mazda. The Mitsubishi, actually, it is. Who to captain this week? That'll come out a little bit later on. Baines.
Doyle.
That can get stuff too. Everyone hates him.
That was me.
This one's from Chris. Cook, Klinkman and Menenga out for J. Rob Cummings and Ulbrich. Yes or no?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
I like it.
That's the best trade
Two
I've
good
seen.
imports and a cash grab.
Yep.